What's up, everybody? It's me, Johnny G, and welcome back to another Arknights episode. And in today, we are going to jump in for the first time to the Babel event. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a brand new event and it is a side story. However, it is very, very crucial to the canon of the story. This particular event I've been waiting for since it was initially announced, and I like to keep tabs on the Chinese server and the new operators and stuff that come out, the new stories and things over there. And this was the first one that I found myself very excited for. Like, not that I'm not excited for the others, but I just found myself more and particularly excited for this one for the sake of the fact that this finally explains the backstory. The fact that Doctor has amnesia is finally ripped open. The past is ripped open. We get to see why Doctor has amnesia, what happened to Babel and when it became Rhodes Island, why Kal'tsit has the issues that she does with Doctor, and we get to see Theresa's death. Now, it is very emotional. It is a very, very emotional event. And I am probably going to be very emotional during the course of it and during the course of this story. So I'm just letting you guys know that ahead of time. But I'm so excited to really know the true reason and to know all the details behind this story. And to come to understand Doctor a little bit more. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some pulls on the new Ascalon banner and see if we can't get her on this account. Now, on my other account, it was funny because I did one 10 pull. I saved up enough for a single 10 pull on that account. Now, Ascalon isn't really a limited character. There are limited characters coming up after this, so there's a lot of cool stuff that we got to get ready for. A lot of cool limited characters like Yostar is coming very, very soon. But with this one, she's not a limited character. After her focused banner here, she's going into the standard pool. So we'll see her in standard head hunting afterwards. But I did 110 pull on my other account, managed to get both her and the new 4-star Lieutenata both in the same 10 pull, which was really, really cool. So saved me having to worry about that anymore. I can start saving on that account for Yostar. Now, let's see if we can do something similar here. I have enough for 2 10 pulls. Let's see what we can do. Let's jump right in. All right, here we are. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and jump into the head hunting here real quick. I have the special exclusive 10 roll head hunt for this, and then I have enough Arundum for another. Oh, we get a 5-star off the bat here. Looks like a couple.
I'm just a girl who
we have
cleans up
Lieutenata.
ourselves.
Let's go.
If you need me for anything, please call me by the name Lieutenata.
Lieutenata. I like that. She has like a safety pin in her hair. That's kind of cool.
I am Ansel, a medical intern. I'll be assisting with surgery and internal medicine.
3.
I'm just a girl who
Lieutenata
cleans
again.
up Warsons. If you need me for anything.
4.
Hello, Doctor.
Otter.
I'm Totter. Long-range sniping's my specialty. You can...
Okay. Here's a 5.
赤冬
Akafuyu.
武士だ最強というやつだ
I've never used her. I have her on both accounts. I don't know. I've never used her. A 3rd Lieutenata. Wow. Okay.
If you need me for anything.
I'm Lava, a caster.
7 or yeah,
Here
7's
to join you
lava.
simply because I'm bored and
3
want
to
something
go.
to do. But I heard my
Here's a 5.
Hello, my
Theresa.
name is Desh. I'm your new legal consultant. If you need to call me by a code name, then use Proviso.
Come on.
Let me get this out
Skip
of the
for
way
me.
first, though. The general practice. My code name
9
is
is Beagle,
Beagle.
and last one,
Well my assessment,
I believe, is another 4.
Nice to meet you, Doctor.
Oh, 5. It was Quercus.
Call me
Okay.
Quercus. It's
Quercus. Okay. So we got 3 Lieutenata in there, though. That's pretty cool. All right. One more. Here we go. I should have brought Doctor in to do these for me. We got more 5s. 1, 2 5s, looks like. Gravel. Let's just skip through. What do we got? Why is my mind blanking? Why did my mind blank on who that was? I don't know why. Let's see, certificates. No one told me who that is. That was... Oh, I didn't have her before. That was Black Knight. That's why it wasn't giving me a cert. Okay. Okay. I haven't used her before. She's a summon? Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look up how she does in comparison to what's his face? The Slumberfoot. In comparison to Vigil. That'll be interesting. All right. Yeah, I'll have to look her up a little bit. That's pretty cool. I did have stuff here, so let's grab these permits. All right, and let's continue here.
This is Intern
Hibiscus.
Hibiscus. From now on, I'll be in charge of managing yours and every operator's help.
Let go. I didn't want that. Continue. Chestnut.
プレゼントにこれをどうぞ。僕の集めた鉱物が入った標本ケースで。
3.
I'm just a girl who
Lutanata
cleans up
again.
parcels. If you need me for anything.
I'm gonna have her max potential. Dang. By the time we're all done with this.
Following the
Kitana,
guidance of the
okay.
Arcana, our paths have finally converged.
Show me your brightest
Midnight.
smile, my esteemed customer. Happiness is at arm's reach.
And we got one more pulse worth here.
Hi,
And we get Cruz. It's all right.
I'm Cruz.
That's all good. I have her at potential 5. One more, and I have Lutanata max potential. Max pot Lutanata. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead then. And let's get started on the event. All right, here we go. Story 1. Let's start. Let's go back to the past. A boy cries in his dreams. To weather the blizzard, a girl wraps him within her cloak and wipes his tears away. Freezing, gusting, the air screams on. Softly, the Cyclops tells of an epic tale far, far away. Through the snowstorm's seams, her voice comes. The myriad souls, calls become harmony with it. The boy's whimpers the drum of their beat. The stream is bitter cold. Within, the girl seizes a faint breath. She covers the boy's eyes and closes her own. Even now, even here, for them, the ballad from 1,000 years ago is still playing. Armies fell upon our home. Them I saw from afar. From valleys to hills, our lands they scarred. The king slaughtered, the myriad souls did lament. Yet one sovereign fell, 6 heroes rose. They blew the horn, led the fight, faced their foes. Alas, the Wanderer's city collapsed. To ruin swift as the fleeting peace elapsed. When all seemed lost, a black crown appeared. The twins brought hope where dread had reared. Spreads the rift, giving birth to betrayal. An assassin in the heart of tempest, them I saw from afar. A sword to slay the regent king, a spear to pierce the royal ring. Legend ends as justice calls, to righteous fate the mighty falls. Up here, Exu for now. That is how this episode ends. The Cyclops fades into the blizzard of the dreamscape, leaving the child behind her. The boy's own cries grow distant from his ears. He wakes. Ooh. Summer, 1094. Outskirts of an abandoned town, Kasdo. That is how this episode ends, Ascalon. My story is over. That is what my people, the Cyclops bound for the deep north, saw as they gained their last of Kasdo. Was I reading that right? Cyclops? Earlier? Yeah, Cyclops. Okay. I was just making sure. I didn't know that was the plural, Cyclopes. Interesting. Was that a page from long lost history? A possible future yet to come? Or plain meaningless gibbering? None knew for the past millennium, until they came and fate's rapids began to narrow into a surer course. And now, the fate she saw has drawn before our eyes. I don't care. I'm surprised you'd even hear me out. Bright red blood creeps along his mask, trickling down his chest. Ascalon's eyes narrow a hair. He's out of luck. You're about to die, so I gave you one last token of respect. Those prophecies never did knock you, in all the time we knew each other, no? That's why you will never understand how a greedy soul thirsts to control his fate. Choose better last words. I know how you hurry to convene with those Babel members, but it's not yet time for you to leave. Look, catastrophe is near. Funny. I'm curious now. What was it you found within the storm? Step aside. No commission left unfinished. The rule I set myself back when I was at the Scar Market. Alive or... A dawn-like mist is wound about the Cyclops' neck as Ascalon vanishes behind him, leaving his body to dangle over the cliff's edge. You ever seen your own end, then? I don't care for prophecies. We have that in common. But fact is, none of us can outrun fate. Don't you want to struggle out of it? What makes you not? Why can you not? How can you not? Never forget, you have your place in the prophecies too. Whimpering, storming. A plaintive chant rings in their ears, an elegy o'er the horizon. From the convolvulus of the banshees, sucked into the storm's eye, Ascalon gives an involuntary shudder. She is ice cold from head to toe. An indescribable pain rips from behind her ears down to the soles of her feet. This nameless elegy, this ill omen. Farewell, Kasdo. A single sigh reaches Ascalon. Her hand tightens fast until not even the faintest sound will leave Scar Eye's throat again. And then she lets go. Damned fate. In a blink, the tremendous figure of the Cyclops becomes no more than a speck below the overhang. The mist scatters to the storm. The shadow of a hood goes with it. All vanishes within the teardrops falling from the cliff. Gasps, rolls of thunder from catastrophe clouds, whistles as the sand is swept across the barrens. The sound of everything culminates in silence. Londinium, Victoria. Theresa. Now, lift your heads, sarcasm of hers. If you would still see through the calling she bestowed you, here I stand. Come, step forth. You may avenge her. Ooh. Hello. Just saying. Hi. My name is stitched onto my clothes, stitched by Her Highness Theresa's own hands. I can feel it faintly burning right this moment, and I know what that means. The mission she assigned us is over. We'll clash with you no more. The Sarkaz do not draw on each other before the invader. We pledge our loyalty to you, Regent. So as long as you still hold your zeal and earnestness for the Sarkaz, We will trust you with our lives. Even though you nearly ruined all the plans we'd set up in Victoria. Should the military commission put us to death, we will be willing to die. As long as it could bring a better end. An end as she wished. A moment ago you were the renegades in chief. All but ready to entomb our plans. How can I possibly believe? Manfred. As she wished, you said. Your name, Deathmonger. Julie. I will remember it, and I will hand you your final mission. Guards, assassins, mercenaries, survivors of the sea of bloodshed, one and all. You are to enter the Mausoleum of Kings. You are to render Victoria's iron heart a scrap. You are to ambush and wipe out every last Steam Knight. You to let us take part in the Commission's core plan to enfeeble Londinium. Manfred will take good care of you. There's no chance we leave that place alive, is there? You're welcome to fight for it. Very well. What's keeping you here? I'm just taking it in. I'm looking at the one who fostered Ascalon. She never rid herself of you. I swore to follow Her Highness Theresa with no inkling that the tale of the mixed-blood twins, rewriters of Kasdal's history, would end this way. Let alone that this disposable life of mine had a place in it. Farewell, Your Highness Theresa. I take my hatred of you to the grave. Interesting. Rhodes Island of Babel, Kasdal. Oh. They're shipping, or like jumping over to the end. Keep going, Kal'tsit. Never since the day she was born has this corridor felt so endlessly long to Kal'tsit. Monster. An angry roar. My dame, do not bury us. Kasdal's soil cannot hold any more traitors. Finish him. I love this rendition of the song. I know that, even left on your own, your step will never falter. Amia! Doctor! System unresponsive. This is... Monster, cut the door down! Monster! Meltdown! You believe loneliness is yours alone, that you have none of the same kind, yet from the day you woke again, we've walked shoulder to shoulder, haven't we? Immortal empires turned to dust. Elder scepters rent in two under ancients' rallying cries, pulses over the sky like a surge, the immutable rhythm of the stars, from resplendent glimmer to dull collapse. Death, rebirth, the all-encompassing cycle, she's ever so familiar with it. Theresa. Yet still one day I'll choose to slow down, to stop and place where I am. When I do, Kal'tsit, don't grieve, keep going. Kal'tsit subconsciously searches her memories, death, rebirth, the all-encompassing cycle. No, it's not the same this time, not quite. For the first time, she must bid to the first who could ever converse with her as an equal, to her dearest friend, farewell. Theresa. So, Kal'tsit, it's time to say goodbye. Amia. Doctor. But... I always say one day, our wandering is bound to end. One day the Sarkez's wandering is bound to end. Now your wandering too has reached its endpoint. I knew full well this possibility always existed. Why? I should have stayed behind. It's my... Because I believe in Rhodes Island. I believe in Babel. I believe in you. Kal'tsit, I hope the Rhodes can be a place you name home, an island you may always return to. I already did everything I could do. I won't harbor complaint for my own end. Babel's mission is concluded, while you in this land ship have only just set sail. I am not the same kind as you, Kal'tsit. I cannot explain away your puzzlement, but I have always been your companion. Then, now, and after. I will always be with you all. Now. Whew, I gotta figure out Theresa's voice, but that is a hard way to kick things off to see it. But that rendition of the song, Immutable, it does something to me. So, alright, moving on. BB-1, let's begin. I'm picturing a higher voice for her, kind of. Ish. Theresa, we'll get it. We'll figure it out. 64 years ago, autumn 1030. Scar Market, Kazdal. You protect this tag around your neck with your life. You're my precious property, slave. You understand? You better be worth something. Stay here and don't move. You inspect the goods? Slave trader casts a glance at the silent slave behind the mercenary's back, then slightly shakes his head. Where'd you get it? Found him on my way here, dying of thirst and about to become mangler chow. Thought he could fetch a good price. I came from Kazdal. I could find someone who... Doesn't matter to us where you're from, slave. Say you're Hyanese. Higashinese, for all we care, as long as someone buys you out. I'm just checking if you've got a tail. You never know where these mercs get their goods. I promise you, he's clean. You better not be messing with me. Cash or barter. Ain't gonna live long enough for money to mean something. Give me some good weapons. You're the boss. He's second rate at best. That'll net you 2 blades freshly cast. How about you take another look with your eyes open this time? You can dress him up as a first rate, but it won't change anything. If you don't like your offer, feel free to get lost. And put that machete of yours away. This is the Scar Market you're in. Can you throw in more? I was out on the Latanian's border before I got back. I've got first-hand intel about the whole war in the core. Well, here's something for nothing. Careful what you spew out of that mouth if you want to stay alive here. Mouthing around that you have valuable first-hand intel. You want to guess where that'll get you? Leave the goods and scram. You're holding up the line. Ugh. Not happy? Drown your sorrows in the bar. Our boss, Scar Eye, brews one heck of a drink. Doesn't matter if you can't pay your tab. They'll take your weapons as collateral, merc. One more thing. Where do you run your bounty board? I'm here to strike it rich. The bar folk will be happy to inform you. The merc stares around this floating hub, hidden away in the giant subterranean hollow beneath Kazdal. Amidst the moans of the slaves, the faint yet constant rumble of lava and bursts of originium dust can be heard, rising from beneath the market. Eyeing the rugged path behind him, the mercenary recalls the perils he faced to reach here from the surface and shudders. Just how many people are there in that goddamn chasm? Enough to break your fall if you jumped. Welcome to the Scar Market, Greenhorn. You'll love it here. What's the deal over there? Why the crowd? Probably another big name just rolled back into town. Aren't you here to strike it rich? Go on then. I'd rather keep my horns out of all that mess. The merc vaguely makes out a pale white figure flitting through the chaotic gloom of the street. White clothes? You don't see that every day in Kazdal. You're injured. Tell me something I don't know. You're... The last time I was here, it was someone else handling transactions. Yes. You're referring to my grandfather. He never stopped bragging about how he'd fought you and lived. I'm surprised you'd remember him. In the good sense, though. That means he wasn't lying all this time. It must have been 60 years ago by now. General Theresa. Already. How sad that nothing here has changed at all. I imagine with Her Highness here too, there'll be no more violence this time, eh? Even if things get bloody, eventually you'll leave, but we'll always be here, General. We'll always have business so long as Kasdal's unrest never rests. Even now, I remember one thing my grandpa mentioned in his boasts. He said to you, it's the land of Kasdal that needs us. Theresa looks at the slaves, their heads down in their cages. He draws his sword. War and turmoil have necessitated this trade for over a century, this Scar market. General, I... Provided you can reach the surface alive, take a fresh look at Kasdal. Much of what you know will soon change. All Sarkaz will be part of this change. All? Us too? Yes, I'm not inclined to explain our vision to the likes of you, but I will stay here a while longer and wait for her return. Until then, I welcome you mercenaries to challenge me, just as 60 years ago. I will take you to Kasdal, willingly or otherwise. His voice isn't loud, but every Sarkaz present hangs on to his every word. The mixed-blood Sarkaz stands alone. No retinue, no army. Armed only with an ordinary-looking longsword, casually held in the hand that wields it. His steely gaze pierces through the dim of the street, settling calmly in the direction of the only person he cares for. You can dismiss the mercenaries in ambush. No doubt they're your most trusted men. This is out of my respect for the King of Sarkaz. None aside from the General can claim to know your true motives after all. Your Highness, do you truly believe this can change the fate of the Sarkaz? That you're not just another ill-fated hero caught in this cycle of hope and failure? Once the dust is settled, your answer will come naturally. Following that Pyrrhic victory, we built from zero a moving city, the great nomad of Sarkaz soil for over a century now. We could evade catastrophes and foreign armies. Our development has finally reached a point of basic self-sufficiency, but it's so far from enough. The storm has long been brewing on the horizon, but we were too oblivious, like a burn beast too slow to react, too old to move. Your Highness must be referring to that war between Litanian and Gaul. Surely you too are aware of the magnitude of that war. Corsica. I even secretly hired our royal court casters as his consultants, but despite a period of seclusion, Litanian's Witch King thwarted Gaul's offenses with his opening move. Now, Ursus and Victoria have also declared war on Gaul. These present empires display a might so far removed from the enemy 130 years ago, against which we staked all Kasdal just to barely prevail. That was already a victory in name only. If Kasdal must now be thrust into the same situation, how could it possibly end? Ooh, I just noticed something about her art. We'll look at that in a second. It is for this end that you wish to establish the military commission of Kasdal. Yet the old aristocrats of the royal court grow resentful, refusing to relinquish their sumptuous city lives, and viewing this as an attempt to challenge their privileges. She's got rings on all her fingers, just like Amia does later in the future. Kal'tsit puts those rings on her, has those rings to monitor Amia's health, she says. But they look the same as Theresa's. That's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But you'll see the reason later that makes that make more sense. Anyways. A century of peace is enough for certain memories to slip their minds. So, what made you deign to come here in person? Do you see the Scar Market as the royal court for the bottom feeders, where the likes of us scrape by and make merry? My only hope is for more Sarkaz to join us and resist the voices that refuse to embrace change. Resist? Perhaps your Highness meant terrorize and purge. What I want is a reform, not a slaughter. So what's the reward? The Scar Market's not a real royal court. What we have with the mercenaries is partnership, not fealty. Without compensation, no one will work for us. Reward? Are the spoils of war not enough? The riches, power, or food that should have gone to the hungry people not enough to sate your appetite? You claim to provide shelter and a livelihood for countless Sarkaz warriors with your rhetoric of justice. Yet I could almost hear their bones crunch as you squeeze them dry for profit. Sorry, but in this business we eat people whole and chew on their bones. Scar-Eye, you too are Sarkaz. You too are part of Kasdal. While Theresa cannot see what expression lies behind Scar-Eye's mask, his emotions are clear as day before her pitch-black crown. No commoner in Kasdal would ever dare defy the royal court. But in his emotions, all Theresa sees is fervor and bloodthirst. You won't refuse. Ha! Why would I? Do you think I'm scared they'll take revenge on me? The royal court's no mystery to me. Your Highness knows that plenty well. And let me say, you've promised me, no doubt, the best reward I could ask for. We thrive on chaos, and I could see the level of chaos you will bring upon Kasdal. The fact that you've kept the name Scar tells me that your ideals haven't changed. Like you said, the nations of Terra have grown tremendously in power over the last century. We could throw more revenants into the soul furnace and stoke its flames, but it'll not close that gap. So why force the people who aren't really of the same race to band together, call themselves the Sarkaz, and build a giant target called Kasdal? The war between the four superpowers has proven that other Terra nations can accept our existence as mercenaries, and that's where Scar Market comes in. And your Highness surely knows that we've become a community, a town, because many of us could never fit into the elitist, bloodline-obsessed royal court. In all these years, I may have helped just as many Sarkaz find a new way of life as the six heroes, if not even more. And I'm not the least bit ashamed to say it, Your Highness, King of Sarkaz. Theresa doesn't reply. All she offers is a faint smile at the Cyclops. It suddenly occurs to Scar-Eye that this King of Sarkaz belongs to no royal court and represents no bloodline. Her sole aim is to persuade the Sarkaz who are unwilling to believe that Kasdal can be built, some of whom have even committed crimes for this cause, to believe once more. But is she enough to break free from this cycle of tragic failures, from the ending he foresaw? Come to think of it, there's one thing I don't get, Your Highness. I might have agreed to help you. But why didn't you and General Theresa simply burn this place to the ground before the day's end? I would have little chance of winning if you decided to do so, just like you did 60 years ago. A minute ago you described Kasdal as nothing but a target that you want another way for the Sarkaz to live. And that you want another way for the Sarkaz to live, one that would have them depend on their other nations. Yes. So tell me, in your prophetic visions, have you seen Kasdal's destruction? Have you seen my death, Theresa's death, and the destruction of all that you stand against? And what about yourself? How do you behold your death? A slow and agonizing death by oropathy? Slain in battle on foreign soil? Or drowned in a sea of plots and conspiracies? Have you ever left this place and seen Kasdal as it is now? Have you ever truly seen the future? Is this your way of asking for a prophecy? I don't give handouts, but for your Highness I'll consider a discount. Such nerve. No wonder you were able to claw your way out of this bleakness and rebuild this mercenary's paradise. But I'll pass on the prophecy. Prophecies and fate have no value. It's getting late. I look forward to your return to Kasdal. He watches her go and heaves a long sigh, only when even her footsteps fall from earshot. Son of a bitch. Foresight, prophecies, his own death. He bought his coffin this very morning. Interesting. Tally up the losses. Boss, the slaves, set them free. They're bound to get tangled up in the Scar Market after the war begins anyways. At most, we lose out on pocket change. Did anyone take on General Theresa and survive? Yes, I've noted them all down. Take them to supplies for a little reward. They've got real balls. When you're done, take them to the bar entrance and kill them all in front of everyone. Send their heads to General Theresa as an apology. Got it. Send their rewards to whatever family and friends they have as bereavement. Tell every merc looking to make a living in the Scar Market. I don't want to see anyone trying funny shit on my turf. He heads alone to the bar, the tags on his cloak jangling in his steps. He stands prominent in the crowd, watching as the blades take the light from the mercenary's eyes. Still, no one fights back. Utter disappointment. Drinks are on the house tonight, both to celebrate the two highnesses sparing your lives, and to celebrate the huge gig you've all just landed. Your objective is in Kasdal. Get your shit ready. Soon, you're all gonna be in the city. Secret entrance of Scar Market, Kasdal. You've been quiet for some time now, Theresa. Are you hesitating? No, I have confidence in you. A reshuffle of the War Council is inevitable. It's just... I've been thinking about the city's future. War won't stop itself at Gaul. Our pace has fallen too far behind. Corsica One commands an indomitable fleet of dreadnoughts and guard battalions. The Mad King of Latanian has more than his arts in his arsenal to effect Gaul's failure. The industrial might of both Ursus and Victoria in the throes of a large-scale war has far surpassed our imaginations. Many assume to know war like the back of their hands simply by living long enough through it. If our concept of war still lingers on the great battle from a century ago, then we have drastically underestimated how quickly wars can nourish empires and fuel dictatorships. This is exactly why we need a military commission. It's more than that, Theresa. I know. When the day comes, when the Sarkaz wish to live on, if a brittle, creaking city is all they have to call their own, it will be far from enough. Do you remember the idea I proposed, back when Kal'tsit was designing the city's blueprints with us? Babel. To transcend the borders of race and nation, to echo far and wide in our ideals, in our epics. Founded by a Sarkaz. We will prepare Kasdal for the coming crisis, strive to eradicate the poverty, and disease that have plagued them for millennia, and send a message to all of Terra. There will come a future when we all stand as one. The Sarkaz, too, are part of Terra's destiny. This is not the first Theresa had heard of this idea. Her idea. Apart from the dame who left after helping build the nomadic city of Kasdal many years ago, he alone knows the true belief of the current king of Sarkaz. Kasdal won't accept this Babel. You and I both know that well. It's but a dream of attempting to subvert reality. Yes, for now at least. We can't be talking of such grand ideals while even our own affairs are slipping away from us. It's my hope this Babel can become a part of Kasdal, Theresa. Are you prepared then? As I said before, it's not just the other nations that will oppose you. Kasdal and Sarkaz clinging to their hatred will also stand against you. It is cruel to force them to forgive and forget. The persecution of the Sarkaz is not history. The ancient hatred is what drives many to survive until this day. Wow. I'm struggling to talk tonight, apparently. I am the king of the Sarkaz. The responsibility is all mine to bear. I must show them a way out of this. I see. Then go. Do what you will. Theresa, I still do not approve of your vision, but I do support your decision, and the future military commission will too. If your gaze is set too far to see what lies before you, then I shall sweep away all that obstructs you at the moment, just as always. I know. Come, let's go home. Kasdal still needs us for what's about to happen. Oh, yes. Scar mentioned the prophecy again as I was leaving. The signs of a pessimistic fate. And your reaction? Wait, whoa. And your reaction? I don't care. Agreed. I screwed up a voice there for a second, man. Kasdal, a strange yet familiar name. Many from this great land see it as a pit from which devils crawl, a terrible place to be avoided at all costs, while to the Sarkaz the name only evokes equally conflicted emotions. Despite generations of Sarkaz passing on that Kasdal is the Sarkaz's homeland, an outsider might wonder if they mean the city or the entirety of those lands. Perhaps only they themselves know. It never struck me on the way out just how high this wall is. Oh well, at least I can go home alive now. That means I'm pretty lucky. That man in the Scar Market, that was General Theresa, the first of the city's founders, the hero of the legendary campaign. If I had had the courage to ask him to take me in, Maybe I could have just... I'm dreaming again. He sits atop the high wall, experiencing for the first time a new lease on life. Few of Kasdal's civilian sarcasms, save for those children who haven't yet cottoned onto the fear of death, ever climb onto the city wall. If the tremendous pipes and tubes piled high can even be called a wall. The intricately tangled forest of originium spikes can take the lives of anyone that loses their footing, but it also serves as a haven for pilferers and mercenaries to stash their goods. Smugglers and vagrants cross through the dark underground, peeking out from the tunnels and drains at mines and factories, scuttling from one corner of the city to another. The life the slave once knew. General gave me a fresh start, so what should I do from now on? He gazes at the furnace, burning and smoldering far away, teeming with indiscernible workers as they carry originium, steel, dirt, and stones into its hearth. To Kasdal, the nomad, its flames bring motion, while the molten metal that flows out adds new appendage to the city. For a whole century, it's belched its incessant black smoke. None know whether it's ash or originium dust. Some say it's the bitter anger and anguish as the revenants exhale their last breaths. Witchcraft altars hang high in the sky, intermittently flashing their blinding rays. The slave has heard many different visions of their urban legend. The most frightening version claims that the royal court's casters work day and night on the altars, watching everything and listening to every conversation in the city. Maybe I could try my luck at the factories too. It doesn't matter what else. I've made it back alive. It's been months since I left. I don't know how many of my friends are still alive. Wait, it's a long intro. The nomadic city of Kasdal. What happened here? Why are all the doors open and the furniture all smashed? Pulltop, you're back! It's you. What are you doing here? Where'd you get that ornament? Something big is happening. Royal court nobles are being dragged out of their houses and killed by mercenaries appearing from nowhere, while the city guards do nothing. A lot of us have been sneaking into the empty houses, and boy, have we dredged up some good stuff. How are you still alive, though? Word got out that you wanted to leave the city and find your own way, and after so long, we all assumed you died out there. Heh, you won't believe my luck. First, I was left to die without food or water. Then I was taken to the Scar Market. But guess what? General Theresa saved my life. The general himself. Then on the way home, I ran into this guy with a halo over his head, calling himself a messenger. And he brought me all the way back to the city wall. So I've decided to change my name to Good Luck starting today. You guys can forget that lousy old name of mine. Poof! A guy with a halo, a sancta, and then the general. You sure learned how to lie, Good Luck. Believe me or don't, but either way, today is a fresh new start for me. I'm gonna go be a miner. I looted a Nasher's house earlier and found some hot air balloons. Wanna launch me on one and put that luck of yours to good use? I'm in. Well, that was fast. Man, it feels good to be home. Good Luck glances around at the people swarming the street. This is the life he knows. If he wants to survive, the city will always offer him a good way. Thank you, Fate, and thank you, General. Here we go. First stage is fairly simple, if I remember right. I did finish this on my other account. Yeah.
Don't make this harder than it needs to be.
Mm, 11, 12, 13. Alright, let's put Texas there, so she can block out for now. Beautifully done.
Awaiting orders.
We're going to use her to cover that area. And we'll use Read the Flame Shadow to cover here. I believe that's how I did it on my other account.
Ready to move. A valiant struggle, but you won't get away.
Roar. A word I've not heard in a long,
Use her to keep them healed.
All the best.
You're alive. Now, ignite.
I plant you into the soil to cut them to pieces.
Okay. How about, I think we're good. We can pull her. Let's put Pookie out. She can do some ranged attacking. There's only 3 more enemies, so I won't need her, actually.
Professor?
Ready to move. A valiant struggle, but you won't get away.
Oh man, I've never really actually noticed his movements when using that attack. That's really cool. Stage 1 done. 9 to go. Autumn 1031. The nomadic city of Kasdal. Hey, let me through already. Hey, no shoving. You want a good spot? I'll trade you mine for some high purity originium out of the mines. Don't just grab the leaflet out of my hands. Ugh. Blood all over you stinks. Can't help it when you're breaking into dead people's houses. Lingonus. That's how you read that word, right? Where's Lingonus? Gaul. Oh, where's Gaul? How the fuck should I know where Gaul is? Sarcasm swearing. I wonder what the words are, the translation. But anyways, hey, what's with that attitude? Shh, the highnesses and the royal court big shots are discussing something in the chamber. I heard it's about reorganizing the city. Haven't you noticed all the extra guards on the streets recently? So quiet down a bit. Weather's been real stuffy today. I wonder who the Sancta was that he was referring to. It is decided. The military commission will replace the war council in assisting the king of Sarkaz Theresa in decision-making related to Kasdal's military and political affairs. The military commission will be the sole administration of Kasdal, and none will have the authority to issue commands to the Sarkaz in the royal court's name. All present have already received the details of this resolution. To the royal court leaders who still wish to cling on to the war council, know that the military commission of Kasdal will become the final bastion of the Sarkaz, our eternal fortress, and the usher of a new order. Are there any further questions? Banshee, Your Highness appears more haggard than you did yesterday. Please look after your health. No military commission is worth it, if it comes at the cost of your Highness's health. Lacarameline, thank you. I know how hard you have worked for this day, and I also know how Kasdal today views the banshees of the Convolus. But before I state our position, I encountered a lost envoy of the Liches on my journey here. He trusted me with a letter for your Highness, that he couldn't even find the road here. Let this be proof of the immense changes Kasdal has undergone. A letter from Litanian. Wait. An envoy of Liches. Would that refer to... What's his face from Zvillingstern, the Witch King's friend, the Lich that was taking care of Lessing. I forget his name. I wonder if that's referring to him. That'd be interesting, because he had said something along those lines about not even being able to find Kasdal before he came to Litanian, and then Ermengarde or somebody else. They all went together at the end to go back to Kasdal at the end of the Zvillingstern event. It's interesting. Anyways, if things are going as expected, your Highness's messenger would still not have received any news from the Cyclops. Rather than waiting for the response from deep in the blizzard, should we not hear how the Liches of Litanian answer. You're right. It has been a very long time since the Sarkaz were able to truly unite. Oh. The ornate calligraphy upon the letter turns into silken threads that float above the paper and weave into the shape of a familiar figure. Yes! It is him! Fremont! Okay, Fremont. Man, I couldn't remember his name. See? I'm starting to remember this stuff. I'm starting to put 2 and 2 together. I love it. Ah, my knowledge is growing. I love it. I love the feeling. Anyways, Fremont, a lich who has long resided in Lytanian. It appears that he is now the first scribe for the liches. It seems that the arts practiced by the liches of Lytanian have seen some stylistic changes. Oh, he appears rather excited. Why is there only image but no sound? Well, the Lich Envoy did suggest to me that he was rather vexed with refining his master's words, but never did I imagine that he would simply erase all the sound. In short, Fremont apologizes on behalf of the Liches. They are enthralled as ever by their quest for knowledge, and are therefore unable to afford the distraction of making the long journey here. But if Kazdal were ever in need of their knowledge, they would happily throw wide the gates of their temple for the people that they have chosen. I am sure that with your abilities, your highness can understand Fremont's attitude on the matter from his image alone. To me, it appears as though he is sensitive to drastic change, as has always been his wont. Ah yes, there is another letter from Fremont, one addressed directly to the general. Might I remind you, Lacaremeline, that you are nobody's messenger. You have not yet expressed where the Banshee court stands. I assumed that we had reached an understanding in the course of our reminiscing yesterday. The Banshees will not participate. We are still recovering from the wounds inflicted by the past war. Perhaps other Sarkaz will castigate us for this, but we all present should know that since that war, the elegies have yet to cease in our valley. We have suffered grievous losses. If Kazdal calls on the aid of the Banshees once more, then I will give the same promise as Fremont. The Banshees will be there. But until that day, you will find us willing but unable. Naturally, I myself will render what little assistance I am able to give from this day onwards. That's more than we could ask for. Thank you, Lacaremeline. You are welcome, Your Highness. You know where I stand. For the past 100 years, I have always stood by the decisions you have made. I can only hope that your brother does not blame us for watching from the sidelines. Next, Lord Nesselim, the Nashur King. You were once the leader of the War Council and the mentor of Theresa and I. What is your opinion on these many proposals? Where do the other council members that you represent stand on the matter? Have you discussed them with the Damasti cluster? They have long since taken root in Kazdal, under many different names and faces. We have had many conversations over the years, and they have no objections. Then I have no objections of my own. Your Highness needs not to worry about the bureaucratic hurdles, policy imperfections, or enforcement mechanisms. Where I stand is also where the other members of the council stand. We all know what we truly long for, a turnabout, a change, a banner. Go, do as you will. We will, Nashur King, I promise you that. I trust that this stagnant and dulled war can take on a new form in your hands. I notice you have not said a word this entire meeting. Sanguinarch of vampires. Ducario. To take the War Council and the century of history behind it, and sweep it to the gutter, alongside the exalted heroic age and with little triumphs within. Is that the General's decision? It is our decision. Speak your mind, Ducario. Ducario lowers his gaze. Theresa's white skirt is mottled with many a blackened bloodstain. The Sanguinarch is highly attuned to such matters. He senses the blood of the lowly, the foul stench of fallen descendants, and the murky taint of royal court members who willingly debase themselves. I thank your highness for purifying the filthy blood that I so abhor in my stead. But never have I needed to hide my requests behind honeyed words, such as it has been for every king of the past, and so it will be for you. Honeyed words, I like that. I've actually never heard that before, but seems to take the same concept of sugarcoating. So, I like that. The military commission is merely an attempt to hide Sarkaz witchcraft and blood behind a more modern, more efficient name. Truth be told, I feel like this is insignificant. More than insignificant, it is simply not necessary. You reject the proposal? On behalf of the vampire court? Ducario glances at Theresa, but Theresa remains indifferent to him. Speak words. Time has left almost no trace on the mixed blood Sarkas. He stands steadfast by Theresa's side, the same nameless warrior who stood by the seamstress a century ago. His eyes never fall on the vampire. Not a rejection, no. I am merely expressing some minor frustrations about this meeting. You are great and powerful, all of you are. How long has it been since so many members of the royal court have gathered here in Kasdal? Not to mention that it was you who defeated that foolish coalition in the prior age and wrestled the future into your own hands before personally establishing the War Council. And now you wish to personally change this council. Why? Look about you, at the other dignitaries in this chamber. You have long reached a consensus. The only obstacle to your military commission is myself and the vampires. You would foist some ridiculous title upon me before forcing all vampires to bow down to your commission. When did you learn this political trickery that those Victorians and Lytanians so love? Why not just take my head here and now and slaughter the vampires within this city's walls? This meeting was not convened to persecute anyone. Was it not? It was convened to discuss how to bring Kasdal into a new age. A new age. It is that so-called Age of the Six Heroes the songs love to praise. What I saw was bloodthirst and violence. In that so-called. I had thought that when I arrived in Kasdal, I would be greeted with the sound of Ylisa's wailing. But what did I see instead? I saw the coalition routed. Witchcraft, enough to cover the land and fill the skies, crushed the enemy front. The power of the Sarkas shook the earth. I felt amazement. I felt excitement, spurred by my passion. I took the head of the Lytanian envoy who had orchestrated the coalition and offered it to the War Council. Nesalem. That war was the true beginning of a new age. I thought you would agree with me. Have you too succumbed to schemes and politics and shut your ears to the echoes of the Abyss? The Abyss has no place for you, Ducaria. Do not drag me into your tantrum. My apologies. But I am curious, what position did they offer the esteemed Sarkas Master of War in the military commission that has rendered even you so short-sighted? All I await is the next war. And what war would that be? If it pleases you, your highness. Come, Ducaria. I will show you. Theresa nods her head in silent approval. The King of Sarkaz's emotions envelop the entire chamber and all the members of the royal court. Through the king's eyes, they see ruination and grief. They see the century-old order that the Gaulish Empire so painstakingly maintained within the core region obliterated by the combined forces of Ursus, Victoria, and Lytanian. They see Lingonis, the capital of the world, doomed to never again appear on the map of Terra. On a map of Terra. Ooh. Those present recall the campaign that reduced Kasdal to dust. But it is not yet over. An even further future, an even further fantasy, an even further possibility. It is no longer a story to reflect upon. Rather, it is a speculation, a deduction, a prediction, and a verdict. But none question it, for all possibilities must be treated equally, even for the one they see. And its ending is equally significant and indisputable as any other. It is a change, a turning point in history, a divergence of fate. A crucial war looms on the horizon. It will span from now into the distant future, impacting every Sarkas and all of Terra. All present has seen their positions in that war, the roles that they wish to play. You should understand now, vampire. You should understand what these visions mean. Or perhaps you have begun to grow weak and feeble as Elise in this short span of 100 years. You were once a warrior. I cannot deny that. But are you saying that a new and reborn Kazdal requires the royal court to relinquish its former authority? Close, but not quite. The new Kazdal will no longer require the royal court's former authority. It will be more modern, more efficient, Dukariel. How can the Sarkaz speak of unity while you continue to indulge in your noble bloodlines? Will it come from the rule of the royal court? You may still rule over your own court and maintain the power and prestige you hold among the Sarkaz, but the vampire court must yield to the military commission. I promise you this, in Theresa's name, when the age that you witnessed comes, Kazdal will no longer be a single dot upon the map. It was once more than just a city, and so it shall be more again. It seems I have spoken out of turn. Please continue, Your Highness Theresa. The aftermath, the ongoing conflict, enough to reshape current power dynamics, will engulf us all. It may come in 50 years, in 10, or perhaps even tomorrow. Kazdal cannot escape it. The Damasdi and I both saw the visions of the campaign that will destroy Lingonis. High-efficiency command systems made possible by Origini Marts, high-speed battleships that can break through front lines, maneuver tactics that can mobilize entire legions. New advancements are applied to the battlefield as we speak. Their capacity for destruction is surpassing our innate instinct rooted in our bloodlines. What worries me more is the fact that we still find fellow Sarkaz among the countless casualties of war. Gaul employed royal court casters, and the Liches and Lytanian are killing each other in battle, while a certain Wendigo is spilling the blood of his fellow Sarkaz to prove his loyalty to the Ursine Tsar. Wendigo? Oh, that's referring to Patriot! Oh, okay. As for the Sarkaz mercenaries sent to the front lines as Art's fodder, they won't even be counted in any nation's casualty statistics. The Sarkaz massacre one another in wars we have no stake in, regarded as disposable goods to be abandoned without care by the leaders of those wars. For the sake of keeping pace with these changes, the Sarkaz must once again gather around the furnace, and if necessary, the power to dominate the war must lie in our hands. Theresa looks to Theresa, waiting for her opinion. But Theresa does not speak, her eyes placid as before. We will plunder the other nations, and wrest their most profound secrets from them. We were once the proud Tikaz, forced to become the Sarkaz and derided as devils. Because the Outlanders feared us, it is an ancient fear, rooted deep in their hearts. Let us remind them. Let us show all of Terra our history and legend that have been either forgotten or falsified. The Sarkaz are not weak. We do not need others to save us from our fate. On the contrary, we will dictate the fate of Terra, dictate how this land should move forward. The details of our plan have been delivered to all present, through the runic arts of the Banshees. Dukariel, do you still hold doubt? No. Exceptional work, Theresa. Set aside a seat on the military commission for the Crimson Court. It appears that our Nazir king has not yet grown addled with age, but as to whether or not he could usher in such a grand feast, warriors need not die in a blaze of glory. That is a vulgarity only chased by those who seek fame. Oh, I nearly forgot you were still here, Lacarameline. I have made myself abundantly clear from the start, Prince Dukariel. I need only silently observe your enthusiastic attempt at self-expression. How pitiful it is to look upon such a shabby little court. I will cherish your elegies. Then this I promise you. When death comes for you, the Lord of Banshees will sing you an elegy, delivered to you by the night wind. Set aside your chatter for another time. It seems their highnesses still have matters to discuss. The other members of the War Council will wish to know their decisions, Dukariel, Lacarameline, and you, Damasdi, disguised outside the door, with me. The Nazir King nods his head towards Theresa. The other two members of the Royal Court do not bid the King farewell. They simply follow the Nazir King out of the chamber. After the meeting's end, Theresa stays by Teresa's side, standing silently. He knows that she will be expecting an answer from him. You never mentioned that you would announce the plans for war to the royal court. You did not refute me either. Would I have been able to refute anything? You are well aware of what I think. If you wanted to argue against any of it, you would have done so a few years ago. For now, I have them by the reins, but it's not just them. This entire city hungers for war. I will prevent matters from heading down the worst possible path, lest the prospects of Terra's continued existence become infinitesimally small. You must be quick about it. I will. What does Fremont's letter say? As Theresus opens the envelope, the writing vanishes before his eyes, yet the message has already etched itself indelibly into his mind. He has surmised what would transpire during that meeting rather accurately. He has given his opinion on some matters alongside a reminder. Do not place all your coming hopes in one basket. The nomadic city of Kazdal. You with that Babel? Pah! Don't count on the military commission to look after you after all. We're here to help you. Help us? My parents died at the hands of you Lytanians. You've got some nerve. What, not scared of me? We knew what to expect when we came here. Just need to get some getting used to. Besides, our captain warned us not to agitate the locals. You looking down on me, bitch? I think that's what he was gonna say. I mean, sarcasm swearing, it kind of makes sense. Anyways, the hell is this? Let me go! Monster just waves! What the hell? Do not harm him, but do make him leave. Dr. Kal'tsit? I said not to deviate from our planned route, even if it is to treat the wounded along the way. Sorry, Dr. Kal'tsit. No matter, you handled it well. We reached our destination. Welcome to Babel. Nice. Oh, there it is. Babel office, Kazdal. Did you manage to retrieve all our stray colleagues? Yes, all's well with them. The construction of Babel's facilities is proceeding smoothly. The school that you were so looking forward to is already complete. Yet I heard that the unbeatable Dr. Kal'tsit had not too long ago been turned down, perhaps even kicked out. I did not foresee such a direct refusal. I'm not surprised at all. To be honest, to many Sarkaz, the invitation of the king is barely worth the paper it's printed on. On the other hand, our connections with Sargon and Rimbiliton have delivered good news. As for Columbia, some scientists have proposed a technology exchange program. They have their eyes on the ancient Sarkaz witchcraft, while we have need for their latest mobile farms. It took us a century's effort to share an equal dialogue with these powers. The results speak for themselves. You are creating new history, Theresa. Thank you, Kal'tsit. But I can tell you've had a lot in your mind recently. The military commission has been formally established. Babel's existence will spark yet another near irreconcilable conflict in Kazdal. Our staff comes from different races and nations. How should they live alongside the Sarkaz? If your efforts to soothe enmity and prejudice instead become a fuse to spark conflict anew, what does your highness plan to do? If we cannot even eliminate prejudice and hatred within the walls of Kazdal, how can Babel hope to achieve equality for the Sarkaz throughout all of Terra? There will be members of the military commission posted to Babel soon. They will ensure the safety of our people. They will also serve as a warning to some. Babel is backed by both Theresus and me. Oh, right. Did I ever tell you how I met a Sancta messenger, Kal'tsit? Strange. The Sancta do not generally dare approach the borders of Kazdal. Was this why your highness disappeared this afternoon? Was it that obvious? I thought Lacarameline had me covered. Lord of the Banshees clearly tried, but judging from the results, she isn't the best pick for clerical work. Well, what of the Sancta messenger? He was getting water from the river, and we struck up a conversation. We chatted about many things. History, peace, hatred. Our viewpoints did not align on most things, but I could sense in him wisdom and intelligence beyond his years. He had thoughts concealed within his heart, ones even he did not know of. And so, he used the power the King of Sark has on the Sancta. I simply wished to know what his fated encounter meant. And what did it mean? It's still hard to say, but while I was looking at his soul, I felt that perhaps you're not so alone, Kal'tsit. Many on this land are doing all they can to pursue hope. Hopes big and small, hopes bright and beautiful. That hurt. Are those people nuts or something? I just wanted to have a few nice things for myself. Never even heard of any Babel. He steadies himself against the wall, gasping for air as his vision begins to blur. Fatigue floods to his limbs, weighing him down. Through his blurred vision, he sees another in front of him fall to the crazed attacker's blades. He knows he will be next. I refuse to die here. It's you or me, you bastards! Out of the way! He uses the last of his strength to barrel his way out, but the only resistance he meets is solid ground. All he sees is black. Are you all right? Were you trying to save me just now? There's so much blood. Why does it feel like I'm the one saving you? Hold on, I'll bring you to Babel. Our doctors there can help you. I'm still alive. Who would have thought that those lunatics would be able to attack innocent bystanders in broad daylight to get at Babel? I don't know how the others are faring. Hey, stay with me! I still don't know your name. Good luck. Huh? For the first time, he regrets giving himself this name. Who's the woman? Ha! Raw sugar lumps. Beta. I like how that says. That's funny. Alright. Now we got a tutorial. Let's do this. Jessica and Fang. Oof. This ground is so cool looking. Instructor Doberman, instructions for further action, please. This is funny. This is actually cool character development for a tutorial. Instructor Doberman, I'm fine. Let's get started with today's training mission. Be wary of hollows in the ground. The nomadic city of Kazdal is far from structurally sound and employs numerous transverse plates to fix itself together. Operators cannot be directly deployed to these transverse plates, and will need operators deployed on regular tiles to provide assistance. Wow, it's so high up here. Instructor Doberman, are you okay? You look... I'm fine. Begin the exercise. Doberman's afraid of heights. That's so interesting. Again, character development. That's neat. Hostile spotted, moving at high speed toward the objective point. Jessica, stay calm. Cruz, get to your deployment point, then pass the stabilizer chain to me.
I'm listening.
Jessica, Cruz is in position. Proceed to your designated coordinates now. Whoop.
All right.
And the chain goes between them. It's interesting how that's animated. Is this the stabilizer chain, Instructor? Yes. Shattered transverse plates are found all over Kazdal. Without stabilizer chains, operators won't be able to engage in combat like usual. Stabilizer chains are custom equipment for improving combat conditions. When an operator is deployed to a transverse plate, the last operator deployed within a certain range will throw one stabilizer chain to them, ensuring stability. The enemies seem to be slowed by the chain. That's right. Stabilizer chains can also apply special effects on enemies as a form of defense. But remember, an operator can only hold up to 2 stabilizer chains at once. Crocodile!
I'll definitely prove myself this time.
Alright, the next exercise should be improvised combat. Guess I'll retreat for now as planned. Cruz, wait, we're still linked! Cruz, Jessica, stay close. Remember what the exercise is about. Always be mindful of your teammate's status. Why does it have to be so high? Deep breaths. 5 more seconds. Now, based on what you've learned, what should you do when your teammates are in danger? I know, Instructor Doberman. You didn't immediately fall into the transverse plate when you lost your stabilizer chain. Instead, you gained this status and steady. If another operator such as myself is deployed on a normal plate near you in time, they'll be able to throw the stabilizer chain to you. Well done, Fang. Chain to her.
Stand by.
We don't need Jessica anymore. We can pull her.
Take that!
Everyone!
The music
follow
for
me.
this is beautiful. That's so cool.
We've accomplished our objective.
All
as
right,
planned.
tutorial done. We'll see how often I use that. I didn't use it too much on my playthrough with my other account, but let's go through the second stage here. "26 years ago, autumn 1068. So we're jumping through time to get up to the main part of Babel and where it's going to take place. Vasaland, Lytanian. How do you like this piece? Like an energetic child awakening from slumber, rushing out the door to enjoy fruits of life to the fullest. It was the Kurfürst who wrote it, inspired by His Holiness's visit to Vasaland when he was still a messenger for Laterano. Oh, the messenger was Evangelista? That would be interesting too, okay. The young and enthusiastic future pontiff told the children about all that he has seen, the ocean that Iberia watches over, the city of Athenius, where Minoan myth and machination exist in equal measure, and a passing mention of Kasdal, the city of sin, the whereabouts of which are unknown. The Kurfürst was there, and he was fascinated by His Holiness's descriptions. The first draft of this work was in fact written at the time, but the Kurfürst was not satisfied. Even after many years of revisions, a final draft has yet to be completed. Until recently, when our scouts located the elusive nomadic city of the Devils and sent back photos. Gazing upon the enormous tracks left behind by the city, the Kurfürst found the missing element in the music: ferocity. With that, the work was complete. You found Kasdal. Yes, the Kurfürst was astonished to find that the destiny of the work was intertwined with the cities. I understand the reason the Kurfürst chose to present this piece on the eve of my return to Laterano. However, unlike his predecessors, His Holiness has no intention of initiating offensive action against the Sarkaz. He is not interested in putting the sinless on trial without cause. I'm afraid I must disappoint the Kurfürst. The city itself is of no concern to the Kurfürst. He is far more interested in His Holiness's opinion of the piece. Please send His Holiness the Kurfürst's warmest regards. We have a response from Syracusa. Only a few of the familiae have agreed to participate in the action. Their men will rendezvous with the fleet soon. I can't believe Laterano rejected us. Inform the Syracusans to move quickly. We must mop up the city before the other Kreis can react. Take Kasdal before the other Kurfürsten can. Do not repeat the mistake we made at Gaul and miss another opportunity. Scar Market, Kasdal. I like Latanians. You always bring so much business. And it's smart that you disguised yourself as a prisoner in a smuggling crew, rather than flying the banner of a messenger. Now tell me what you want before I lose my patience. Trade, muscle for hire, intel. The Scar Market has everything you need. Cooperation, esteemed leader. We don't have a fixed price for cooperation. Are you sure your Kurfürst can pay my price? Don't you want to know what we're asking for first? There's nothing. Excuse me. My throat's been a little bit dry and crackly all day, so I've been drinking extra. I've drank probably like 3 big bottles of water, and that was my first soda, but I'm still just trying to keep it moistened. It's not doing me too well. Anyways, there's nothing that money cannot buy here, Cabernet. What about Kasdal? Go on. The Kurfürst wants you to sabotage the city's propulsion system. Nothing else. The down payment is in the safe that you took from the caravan. The Kurfürst will discuss the rest of the payment with you in Kasdil.
I admire your boldness. Let me express my good faith with a little glimpse into the future for you.
She's giving him a prophecy. The nomadic city of Kasdil.
Take your things and scram, Lytanian. Are you trying to poison me?
These are just suppressants. You'll need them on the battlefield.
The warships that surround us came from Lytanian. Outsiders like you must have led them here.
I don't have an explanation. I know you're taking your son with you into battle. He could use the medicine.
Keep your hands off my son!
What's the commotion? Are you out of your mind? She's a Babel doctor! Are you okay? I'm fine. He wasn't really trying to hurt me.
Huh. Good luck. You married a Babel woman, and now you've become a shill for the invaders. They'll be the death of you, I guarantee it.
Many of us are also pained by the impending war. We've requested to join you on the front lines.
Lunatics! Who knows what schemes you have on the front line? You'll get yours in the end.
Give me the medicine. I'll distribute it. They're ready to leave. Go meet up with them. I'll take care of things here. Good luck. Your son... I didn't let him leave. If the Lytanians want to force us into a catastrophe, it's safer for him to be in the lower level shelters of the city. Relax, Doctor. People have made it through catastrophes in the past. Maybe we'll have, good luck.
The furnace has burned for more than a century. War, catastrophe, migration, exile. All the suffering since the Tikaz era has not extinguished the hatred of the Revenants. The Sarkaz have seen many Kasdils through the ages. The memory of yesterday may be unrecognizable by tomorrow, but the soul furnace has been a constant for this generation of Sarkaz. Home is where the soul furnace is. Kasdil.
The furnace has not burned like this for many years. I can hear the cries of revenants even from here. Soon the city will charge headlong into a catastrophe. All we need to do is hold out until Nez Salem's reinforcements arrive, until Kasdil once again passes through the catastrophe.
They thought we would cower. They had tried to assume our thoughts with their conception of common sense. It was so 170 years ago, and it is so now. Arrogant and laughable fools who never took the time to truly understand us.
What fate do you think awaits this city, Theresa?
To be honest, the chances that it survives are slim. Kasdil was immobilized the last time it braved the catastrophe. It took us a decade just to get it moving at full speed again. And the forests of crystals, in the mines and on the walls, could never be removed, ruining years of our plans for the city. I don't know if the city could survive another ordeal like that, much less one that's even worse. Good luck rarely comes twice.
I believe in this city, Theresa. Not because of luck, but because we built this city, and I won't give up on it. The story of this city does not end here, Your Highness. I may not be able to see its future clearly. There's one thing I can say for sure, the city continues to exist into the distant future. No one can say, however, if it will be a sanctuary of hope or a ghost city of the dead.
Scar-Eye, have you not grown tired of the ambiguous words of your kind? And need I remind you that no amount of mercenaries can ensure your safety in this city? There's no deceiving, Your Highnesses, of course.
Kasdil's doors are open to every Sarkaz, but you'd better have a good reason to set foot in the city with your mercenaries at a time like this.
I was made an offer most difficult to refuse, which obliged me to enter the city to seek an audience. What is that you're carrying? This? Something insignificant. Oh, I mean someone. The Lytanians wanted me to sabotage Kasdil. I have been away from my kin for many years, but as Your Highness said, Kasdil is the root of all Sarkaz. So I felt that I had to deliver this Lytanian with my own hands in order to prove my innocence.
What are you thinking?
Exactly as I have said. What can I possibly hide before the King of Sarkaz? But if you're not interested in my gift of good faith, then I see no need to carry it with me anymore. It's heavy after all. He casually casts the bag into the furnace, where it is incinerated in an instant, without a sound. The furnace is always an impressive sight, no matter how many times one sees it. Your Highness need not pity him. He should have foreseen the risks when he approached the Scar Market. I trust Lytanian was not miserly with its terms. It's simple, Your Highness. I prefer immediate payment over empty promises, but more importantly, I don't work with the losing side. Are you predicting our victory? It wasn't I who saw it. It was the Cyclops who left the prophecy 1,000 years ago. I'm simply betting that Your Highnesses are the protagonists of the prophecy. Regardless, the safest business for the Scar Market is with Your Highnesses. It would keep business flowing for at least the next 50 years or so. Is that not so, Your Highnesses? You're clever. Prophecy doesn't bring victory, but we can. Bring your mercenaries. We're moving out.
The crowd stirs. The Sarkaz procession leaving the city is quiet, except for the occasional clang of weapons and equipment. Their silence is rooted in the knowledge of the fate that awaited them beyond the city's gates. They wrap banners, torn from the walls, around their waists, or clutch originium spikes chopped from the streets as makeshift weapons. Each has their own ritual to remember the city that they may never return to. Oh, is this Oda? Oh my god, is he Good Luck's kid? Oh, that's interesting. Mom, Dad, where are you? Dad, Mom! Humph. People really need to watch their kids. They can't be allowed to run wild. Ouch. Careful. Thank you. Where did you come from? Why are you also leaving the city? You'll fall if you're not careful. I'm looking for my mom and dad. Are you going out too? Yes. I'm going to the battlefield. Are you looking for your mom and dad there too? Can I come with you? No, I'm by myself. Why are you going out then? Because I don't want to hide in this city. I want to fight the people who are doing bad things to us. That's what my parents told me before they left. I want to fight too, but Mom and Dad won't let me go. I tried to sneak out and got a beating when they found out, but I don't want to be away from Mom and Dad. We'll go together then, and find your Mom and Dad. There'll be a lot of bad people out there. Are you scared? You're not scared. Mom and Dad aren't scared. I'm not scared either. The disheveled child pumps his fist to show courage, but his trembling betrays him. The older child knows that the young boy does not fully understand what is happening outside the city, but the young boy knows something simple but true. Bad guys should be chased away. Families should stay together. So he takes the boy's hand and joins the procession. How do we find your parents when we're out there? They work for Babel. They have a picture of a tower on their clothes. Babel. I know that place. Are you from Babel too? No. I grew up in a military commission institution. I guess I'm from the military commission. Military commission? What's that? A place that protects people, just like Babel. What's your dad's name? Let's squeeze our way to the front. Maybe they're up ahead. Good luck. Good luck? Yes, he's Good Luck. Why are you laughing? Nothing. Let's shout his name. Maybe he'll hear you. Two children squeeze forward in the procession, holding each other's hand, calling out good luck with their tiny voices. A few heads turn and sigh when they see the young and naive faces. Good luck. It is what they all need. On an evening in the autumn of 1068, the music playing in the Kurfürst of Osterland's study was interrupted by the sound of frantic knocking on the door. The fleet that was pursuing the nomadic city of Kazdal had broken off its pursuit. Those crazy devils charged straight into catastrophe. It's only by sheer good luck that they got away. Years later, the Kurfürst of Osterland still recounted the reason for his failure with palpable disdain. Here we go. BB-2.
Okay.
Anything outside the plan, I'll judge for myself.
Okay.
Please.
Let's do one of them
Trust
numbers.
me.
I don't know how that's gonna work. There's only 20 enemies on this stage. Put her there. That's 8.
Ready to move. And what purpose do you think your sacrifice
He's
will serve?
toasted. They're going down pretty easily. So far, at least.
I'm prepared to fight.
I'm gonna activate that. Oh, yeah, we got these ones that like to float. Got him beat before he got to them, though. That was nice.
Let's begin.
Oh, Reed finished him, but that's alright.
Ready to move. They'll be sleeping with the... This hunt has dragged on for too long.
Spring breeze, timely rain.
Shut up.
Where do you wish to go?
He's the last one. We'll just let Shu finish him off. I should have put Degenbreaker out there, but then again, that would have been a little overkill. Ooh, what's this song? Neat. Anyways, how tiny we seem when we stand beside the tracks of this ship. Yes, it's a most impressive war machine. With their bodies as barriers, the Nashor halted its advance at a tremendous cost. The Banshee shrieks, powerful enough to shatter consciousness, only managed to force the Litanians to retreat below deck. If not for the catastrophe and the rough terrain in this valley, we're so far behind and time is running out. Kasdal must have equally powerful weapons, if not more so. All our previous attempts have failed. A century ago, few believed we could build a nomadic city out of Kasdal. Yet we did. If we are able to catch up to them now, we cannot afford to take the conventional path. We have word from the Damasti. The battleships on the horizon are slowing down. Have they given up? No, the Kurfürst's orders were to continue the pursuit, but the commander of the fleet ordered them to slow down. They're concerned about the catastrophes in the current terrain. They've seen what happened to this ship. At the current rate, we can expect to engage them at dusk. We have bought enough time for Kasdal to retreat. Theresa looks back at the two storms entwining on the wastes, trying to catch a glimpse of the city. She sees nothing. Where is Kasdal now? Is it still moving through the storm? Are the people in the shelters safe? The storms are converging. Our retreat has been cut off. A battle is inevitable. Theresa? I never thought I'd see you lose focus on the battlefield. What's that? That's... The storms rage, the young taunting the old. The newborn storm slams into the dying storm, to the war drums of thunder. Rolling air currents clash and combine between the two storms. Violence begets peace, and a passage appears where the storms converge. Lightning flashes and thunder cracks. A path through the storm. The storm? Let's go, Theresa. The storm has given us a path. Those who survive through it will have another chance. We'll do it together. The Damasti cluster passes their command to every Sarkaz present. The warriors see their leaders walk into the storm side by side and follow with no hesitation. The procession advances into the tempest, the strong supporting the weak. the brave encouraging the fearful.
Do you see that, Theresa?
Within the roar of the tempest, they seem to hear the voice from the snowstorm in that childhood dream. They see
The prophecy.
the thin, cloaked figure turns at the sound of her voice and sees the storm-bound procession.
Theresa sees a child.
Mist, gilded by the setting sun, shrouds her shoulders, rising and blending with the shrieking winds above. He takes off his gauntlet and stretches his bare hand into the mist. The mist dissipates, and in his bloodied hand is the stone blade that the child is holding.
You,
Grab! What are you doing here?
home.
You came in. Home. The child wrestles the blade from Theresa's hand and points it again at Theresa and the procession behind him. There is no difference between man and beast to the child who grew up in the wastes. You want to kill me? Kill you!
Nobody taught her how to speak. She simply emulates the sounds made by those who pass by. Theresa?
Theresa looks down silently at the thin figure. Let me show you how to hold a knife.
You.
The child hesitates for a moment, putting her knife in Theresa's outstretched hand.
Me. You. Bring me.
Theresa gazes into Theresa's eyes. Prophecy. A sword to slay the regent king, a spear to pierce the royal king. But they have never cared much for prophecy. Very well. Come with me. The home of the Sarkaz is not on the Barrens. Is that Ascalon? Do you have a name?
Name. Me.
From now on, you have a new name. Ascalon. Yeah, I called that. Let's go. Neat. 10 days later. The nomadic city of Kazdal.
Look, Doctor, the furnace has been relit.
Is it moving?
The city's finally moving. Ouch. Careful, your wounds might open again.
I've got to go to the furnace.
The furnace burns again and Kazdal still sails. The Lytanians didn't manage to kill us.
Oh, I didn't mean you, Doctor.
Come with me to see it. You deserve the same honor as the warriors who survived. But I'm not Sarkaz. You people are heroes too. Come, watch their highnesses command the Goliath to support the leaning furnace. Watch the sparks fly when the iron hammers beat upon the broken core. Hear the elegy of the Banshee and witness the final journey of fallen heroes when they enter the furnace to fuel it. This used to be an occasion that only the Sarkaz could see. I would love to go, but there are still a lot of wounded to treat. All right, tell you what. I'll bring back a couple of bottles of booze and some fresh fruit, and we'll... You're not allowed to drink. And who the heck drinks in a medic tent? Come on, it's just a little flesh wound. No means no. It's your oropathy that's the problem. Not to mention, you're a terrible drinker. When did you ever see me drink? Oh, that time was when I was drunk and came to you with a bunch of oropathy bombs. Look, that was the only time in all these years. You know I can't afford booze. I can't stop you. Why don't you go yourself? Won't be the same without you. But I'm a Lytanian. And do you support those nobles who profit off war? I ran away from home because I couldn't stand them. There you have it. Wait a second. You say you ran away from home? Were you noble? No! I was kind of thinking your equipment doesn't look like it's from Babel. Well, I won't speculate. It does nobody any good. So you can go on your own. I doubt the soldiers on the front lines would get along with a Lytanian. When I saw the Lytanians string my father up by a sewer entrance to humiliate him, I never imagined I could befriend a Capernae doctor either. Back then, the only people who showed us any kindness were poor, infected, or both. Right, enough of the sad stuff. Be back in a jiffy. Seriously, since when did the Sarkaz become so glib-tongued with me? I wonder if this counts as progress, Theresa. In any case, Kazdal is moving again. Things will get better. Back already? Well, it's about time you laid down. Oh, sorry. I thought you were someone else. Wait, Your wounds are really bad. Nobody treated your arts burns?
Lytanians did it. My son's dead. They burned him alive before my very eyes.
I was the only one who lived. At least let me see your wounds.
They burned him alive. He was screaming. They used arts to hang him in the air for everyone to see. My brothers are dead. My captain is dead. The Lytanians stood on the high ground. They raised their staffs, looked just like.
With bloodshot eyes, the nearly deranged Sarkaz fixates on the doctor's staff abandoned in the corner. The emblem of the home she had left behind hangs from the staff.
Like a reel.
The doctor does not sense the hostility. She lifts his top to inspect the wound, but feels a chill run up her spine. Your arms. Why didn't the guards check you? The light of the soul furnace lights up the night sky above Kasdal like the midday sun. The fire's crackles echo like a mournful growl, a somber tribute to the fallen who've become his fuel. All the Sarkaz set their eyes on the sky that night. No one notices the light from one of the field of hospital's windows go out.
Your Highness? Why was I brought here?
Oh yes, I have good news to report. What news?
We won. We defeated the Lytanians, Your Highness. Me, my son, and the Blue Blood Squad. We won! We won!
Are you not glad, Your Highness? Are we too slow?
Blake, my son, bring me the battle plan!
Son? Son?
Sorry, Your Highness, I don't know where my son went.
You killed a doctor. One who has served Kasdal for years, treating oropathy patients.
Kasdal? Doctor, no, you misunderstand, Your Highness. I only fight Lytanians.
Have you read his emotions, Theresa? Pain, confusion, madness. He's driven himself mad to escape the painful memories. He doesn't even know what crime he committed.
The others do. The guards discovered him brawling with another Sarkaz amid shattered casks of liquor, which ignited and spread throughout the field hospital. I'll await the king's response, but you cannot be the one to do it. Leave it to me.
Your Highness, General, I gave my all to defeat the Lytanians. Was I wrong to do so? Your Highness!
Take him away.
His name is Logan, given to him by his mother, who was one of the first Babel engineers. He hardly uses any arts, but the guards were hypnotized by arts. Someone is behind this.
The military commission will not investigate the Sarkaz for the sake of an outsider. Not after they've just been through another ordeal. Neither should Babel. We have no choice. The war has just ended. Babel should withdraw from military and political affairs, at least for the time being.
You know that's not what Babel is about in the first place.
I do, but many don't.
I will define the parameters for Babel's activities. Babel members will continue to serve Kasdal's medical, educational, and technological needs from this area.
The military commission will continue to protect them. But we must make every effort to avoid conflict. There will come a day when the repressed hatred boils over, and even we will be powerless when that day comes.
Kasdal is in urgent need of a change. We have to solve the Originium problem soon.
But even that won't solve all our problems.
I know. I've always known.
Young Ascalon. There you are, Ascalon. What have you seen in this city?
Death. People cry. People die. Cry tears?
Theresa stretches out his hand. A delicate stone knife lies in its palm.
Knife?
Keep it safe. A warrior should treasure her weapon. I will teach you how to sharpen your blade. But it's up to you to decide whom it cuts.
You're too impatient, Theresa. She's not ready to understand these things yet.
She has to understand, sooner or later.
Maybe, but for now, what we should do is give the frightened child a little bit of peace. Do you like this city, Ascalon?
Compared to the armored general, Ascalon does not like this Sarkaz woman crouched before her. She seems to see through all of her thoughts, leaving no secrets, a most dangerous thing in the wastes.
but she cannot bring herself to be hostile to this gentle sarcasm.
No need to be afraid. You know I don't mean you any harm. Come. Touch my horn. We're the same. Warm here. Warm me. Yes, warm. Hatred and killing are not the only way to solve a problem. Problem? Theresa says no more. It is difficult for a girl who has known nothing but the wastes to understand certain words, even with the help of the King of Sarkaz. She takes Ascalon's hand. It's like the wound on your palm. Weapons can't heal it. Only time and medicine can. Ah, it's okay. I've cleaned your wound. You'll need to take care of it. Be patient. One day, you'll wake up and find that it doesn't hurt anymore. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, I remember this background. Babel classroom, Kazda.
No one here. We'll wait a little longer. It's not lesson time yet. They'll come. Look, it's Theresa's.
Casualty report from the military commission. There are many children, most of them students.
The ones that lived?
Their parents are no longer willing to let the outsiders of Babel teach them. Plus, if memory serves, many of Babel's teachers have already left out of fear. You're troubling yourself too much with trivial matters, Theresa. You need to rest. We still have to...
I want to wait a little longer, Theresa's.
Very well. He does not leave. The classroom is eerily quiet. Theresa closes her eyes and recalls the students who used to fill in the classroom. They said we can get potatoes for coming to school. I didn't understand that one. Your Highness, do you have any simple stories? You said you went to the outside with mercenaries when you were our age. There's a sea between Sargon and Iberia. What's a boat? Why can't we go up on deck? Why would we throw up? Titanian spires. Are they like our furnace? People who are nice to us. But Dad says there's no foreigners like that. But the teachers here are nice to us. Students come and go, but she always managed to get them to return. But this time, no one came.
Oh. Ah. General Theresa's. Your Highness, You.
The hilt of a stone knife hits the boy in the chest. Although unable to break free, the boy strains to look up at the tall, gaunt girl who has him pinned.
I saw General Theresa's come this way. I just wanted to... Theresa, Your Highness, you're here too. This classroom. Are you teaching?
Put down the knife, Ascalon.
Your Highness?
You were looking for me.
Yes, I came to seek an answer for the children who lost their parents. I know the military commission will take care of them as it took care of me. But will this change anything? What if another war comes? I want to change things, but I don't know what I can change, or what I should change.
The two rulers gaze upon the fearless child, each arriving at their own answer inside.
What's your name? Manfred.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So that's a young Manfred.
Dad, we've been standing at the door forever. Why can't we go in? Mommy's hurt very badly. She needs some quiet to rest. We shouldn't bother her. But I miss Mom. Daddy misses her too, but not now. We'll go home together once I come back. Where are you going, Dad? I have to leave the city for a bit to make the people who hurt Mommy pay. Stay here with Mommy and wait for Daddy. Can you stay, Daddy? We'll figure out a way to make Mommy better, I promise. Do you like Mommy's name? Oda. Yes, it sounds very nice. It's your name now. But I'll teach you to fight the bad guys with Mommy's weapon once I get back. Okay, I'll beat up the bad guys who hurt Mommy. But will beating up the bad guys make her feel better? You'll understand someday, Oda. I'll be back. Wait for me. Good Luck turns around, toward the crystal-infested city wall. The only thing left that ties him to this city is Oda. Oda and Oda.
Your logical deduction was absolutely correct. What a perfect calculation.
What a beginning to the story. It's got a pretty crazy tale so far. I'm definitely enjoying it. We've got a lot of look into the past, which always makes things fun. Oh, I'm gonna have to get that outfit. Yeah, I'll get one of these. All right.
Ciao, Doctor.
Let's take a break and let's do a couple more pulls here. One. Cora. Two. Jessica.
Are you Doctor? Nice to meet you.
I've got one of these.
I am Shirayuki.
That's 3 4s in a row. Shirayuki.
Princess told me to assist Miss Chen.
And now I got 4 more.
Hello.
5 4s in a row. That's a little odd.
Do you need an operator who...
3 to go. Another 4 in a row. Lieutenanta. Oh, man. Wow.
If you need me for anything.
Does that make me max potential? All right, I'm going to have to check on that. A 3. So we drop down.
I know I didn't do very
We got to
well
be
in my
getting close to a
assessment,
5 or a 6 here soon. I don't know what my pity is, but that's focus selection points is at 32. There's another 3.
Captain of
Okay.
Reserve Op Team A6, Orchid, reporting.
What are the
doctor?
what are the focus selection rules for this one? Is it 150 again? Counts for 50%. Probability, standard headhunting. Here it is. 150 without receiving the current rate up. She's the next guaranteed. So the thing is, though, if we don't get her now, she goes into standard after. So nothing too crazy, you know, to worry about there. If we don't get her, we don't get her. But as I get little pulls here and there, I'm going to pull for her because I'll be buying Originate Prime to put towards getting W Alter and stuff in the future. So, alrighty. All right, so we just did a couple of pulls here, and as you can see, I look different, I'm dressed different. It's been quite a few days since I recorded the last part, and we took our break, we did our pulls, and I meant to come back the following day and record, but I've just been so busy since and trying to get a bunch of stuff accomplished at home that just took me away for, again, a few days. I think right now we've got about 8 days left in the event, so I'm going to cap this episode off by recording one more segment, the third stage for the event, and then we'll pick up in the next episode. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we are on BB-3. Let's go ahead and start that. 8 years ago, summer 1086. Residential district, the nomadic city of Kazdel. Remember the promise we made at the beginning of the lesson. Good. Keep your voice low when answering, and don't tell anyone about the classes. Ray Tanka has been teaching you about our history for the past few months. As for myself, I've been struggling to decide what to teach you in our last lesson. Mathematics, language, agriculture, weapon making. What I've come to realize is that whatever I teach you won't truly change our lives. We've lived silently in despair for too long. The war 18 years ago never ended. The ghosts of Latanian's fleet continue to haunt those who experienced that war. Many died in despair, drowned in the fear of war, and of being consumed by the black rocks that grew from their bodies. But our instincts drove us to seek a way to overcome despair. Who's narrating right now? Who's talking? Some declared war on despair, on the outsiders who oppressed us, but they all fell short in the face of cruel reality. Came to see the contracts. I've never seen a more motivated mercenary than you. You trying to buy a mansion in Colombia or something? One should feel lucky just to be alive for so long. In that sense, I suppose your name is well deserved. I heard a bunch of jobs came in lately. Anything good?
There are eyes on and in the city now. Things didn't turn out well for the last few who took these jobs. It's Babel stuff. You sure you want to be a part of that mess?
Yeah, I trust my luck.
Have it your way. There's a teacher in town who's been saying good things about Babel's outsiders. Someone is willing to pay to shut him up for good.
Will do.
I look forward to your surprises. Hope your luck doesn't run out today.
The nomadic city of Kasdo. It has been a while since good luck came back. The city has changed a lot. People come and go. He's familiar with the words Babel and military commission. There are always people fighting over things that he does not understand. He does not understand why the Sarkaz feel the need to fight one another. He takes out the photo of the target, a mild-mannered young man. The triangular marking on his sleeve seems familiar. A teacher spreading false praise about Babel's outsiders, inciting opposition against the military commission. Sorry, your luck just ran out today. Should be around here. Wait, this place. He's been away for a long time, not long enough to forget his home. Oda's home. Oda, you should not have gotten involved. We've gotten used to despair from one defeat after another at the hands of powers beyond our ability to resist. But we needed to convince ourselves that our despair was not self-inflicted, that it stemmed from an obvious source in our lives. That is what Babel has become for people in this day and age. It was Babel who brought the enemies. It was Babel's medicine that worsened our oripathy. It was Babel's education that sapped our will to resist. It was Babel who deluded the king of Sarkaz and tricked us into giving up on collecting the blood debt from the outsiders. Babel is the source of all our despair. I see some of you nodding. No doubt you've heard the same from your parents. In desperate times, people often mistake hearsay for the truth. But is it the truth, though? Were our lives better without outsiders in Kasdo? Don't take anything at face value. See, think, and find your own answer. Yes, it's hard to leave Kasdo. The land outside is full of danger. Even making it the border of the next country is no small feat. To the border of the next country. It's no small feat. But I'll still leave this place. I'll go to Laetanian, Columbia, Cashmere's, to anywhere that I may find a way to change things. Then I'll come back and teach you, and all the children of the Sarkaz. What will happen to Babel, you ask? The future of Babel. Hide yourselves. Don't make a sound. Hello, are you looking for someone? Sorry, I got the wrong door. Do you need help? I'm familiar with the area. He smiles. There's no panic in his eyes. Ascalon scans the sparsely furnished room and understands. Interesting. Do you live here on your own? Yes. My name is Ascalon. I'm from Babel. Thank you for sheltering him, but you must leave. Be careful. These are troubled times. You heard her. Someone knows you're here. You need to go. Not just the military commission, but also those mercenaries who've been bringing trouble to our doorstep. I know. I'm very grateful to you for lending us your house to serve as classroom. The children. I'll take them home. Don't worry. You can count your classes in a few days. Once the storm has passed, continue. Why did I say count? There will be no need. As I've said before, I'm ready to leave. I've already spent too much time here because I wanted to see the lessons through to the end. There are many places that I still need to see. All right. Oh, don't forget the potatoes. They're from the children and me. It's not much, but they'll serve as a few meals on the road. Thank you so much. All of you. I should be the one thanking you. I learned a lot from you. For the past few years, Kasdo has grown faster than its education and public thinking can keep up. I fear that our powers will be our own destruction if we do not change the present situation. The conflicts we see in Kasdal now are a good example. This is not how the Sarkis should be. I have yet to find a way to change all these, but I know that the answer does not lie within Kasdal. Goodbye, Oda. Goodbye. May your journey be safe and smooth. Excuse me. Oda watches as the teacher disappears around the corner, but does not go in. He does not remember when it started, but he has the habit of sitting by the door, waiting for a familiar someone to return. Wind stirs the dust from the streets, and the dust stirs up his tears. There is not even a shadow. He gently closes the door. Oda. Good Luck sees the target leave the house. Then he sees a familiar figure that he has not seen in a long time. His blade feels heavy. He cannot move. Oda, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm a lousy dad, but... He tightens his grip on the knife's hilt. He knows only one way to give Oda a better future. Another one. The mist shrouds a corpse in the corner of the street, erasing all traces of its existence. The passing of a life in Kasdal is akin to a speck of dust falling to the ground, unheard, unceremonious, and unnoticed. His luck has run out. Ascalon killed him. Interesting. How long do you plan on hiding there, Manfred? Or are you planning to stab me in the back now? Another mercenary. How many have you killed? Didn't see the point to keep count. You kill 1, 2, 100 even. But can you kill every single mercenary who accepts the contract? You just want to remind us that we've been complacent with the status quo for far too long. Using the lives of Babel members as a reminder? To remind whom? He made a promise to Her Highness. Is this what he calls protection for Babel? All I see are crackdowns on Babel and mercenaries running wild. There are some things that should not be said aloud, especially not by you, Ascalon. If you don't like it, arrest me. Let's see if you've improved at all under his tutelage. The General has taught me that there are more important things than violence. And by the looks of things, the mercenaries aren't the only ruthless cutthroats around here. Stop dodging if you dare! I'll prove to their highnesses that I can beat you. Too slow, Manfred. Wait. Ugh. You're dead again. Ugh. Get up. Don't need you to tell me. Footwork, Manfred and Ascalon. Stop going for his head all the time. This is the most effective way. It's his own fault for getting hit. If he can't dodge it, he has to learn to take it. You're right, Ascalon. But why did you stop? We didn't tell you to. I can take it, Your Highness. It's not over yet. Huh? I hit... Your Highness, I hit... Did you now? Let me down, Ascalon! Don't hurt him, Ascalon. She tied him up. That's funny. Manfred's long limbs flail helplessly in the air while his torso is tied to a wooden stake. How did you do it so fast? Got my inspiration by the way Her Highness sews. Manfred wriggles to break free, but the more he squirms, the tighter the ropes hug him. He cannot understand how Ascalon can be so strong and fast when she looks as thin and frail as him. Let me down! Look, I won again. Ascalon raises her weapon high and grins victoriously at the twin sovereigns. Ascalon has gotten a lot more cheerful. What are you thinking? Different from the other Sarkis children. We can change them, but how can we reach all the children of Kasdal? Give me time. Give me time. Babel can do it. Time is a luxury. I know, but education is not something that can be rushed. What we're doing is leaving hope for the next generation. The flame of hope will never go out as long as a single teacher in Kasdal remains willing to share with these children the vision of a beautiful future. Theresa casts her eyes towards the two children, full of hope for the future. Well, are you going to admit defeat or not? No, let me down. We're not done. I'll let you down when you admit defeat. No way. I'll unbind you, Manfred. Thank you, Your Highness. Whoa, why am I flying? Your Highness. All right, that will do. Damn, I keep mixing up their voices because I'm not reading the name right. All right, that will do. Theresa, let him down. You've improved, but Theresa hasn't taught you everything he knows. You were always the faster learner, but ever since you left the General, you've been nothing but unadjusted and lost. He's disappointed in your departure, by the way. I may not be as good with words as you are, but at least I don't just ignore the insults against Her Highness Theresa. Do you really know why Her Highness is so dedicated to Babel's ideals? Do you really know why the General hasn't openly denounced the attacks on Babel? You should have talked to him rather than turning your back on him. I turned my back? You're the ones who turned your backs on Her Highness and the voices of so many. It's Theresa who has turned a blind eye to the mercenaries' act of violence and the damage they've caused Babel. This much I know. The General has allowed it precisely because he can't ignore the voices of the majority. If the fate of the Sarkaz is doomed to fall into the abyss, what's wrong with using more effective means to prevent it? So that's what you truly think? It's what most of us in Kazdil think. It's not that I don't trust Her Highness. Anyone can promise a better future, but we can't ignore the reality before it. Isn't it crueler to use violence to force a child to shake hands and make peace with the murderer who just killed his father? Say whatever you want. I'll keep my hands off the military commission, but if you try to act through the mercenaries, then my job is simple. No more mercenaries, no more problems. Ascalon! If you have the time, go visit Her Highness. I've never seen her so tired. A puff of mist is the only sign that she was ever there. Manfred looks down and wipes away the blood slowly seeping out of his chest. He sighs and turns into the empty street, only to spot the deceased mercenaries' effects. Someday, we will all understand. It was never Her Highness nor the General who made the choice. Who's there? He hesitates before the door. It has been a busy day at this old ramshackle house, and the teacher to the multiple visitors. Who could it be outside the door? Has father finally returned, and if so, what should he say? He's learned so much from the teacher that he wants to share with his father, whose visits back home become less and less frequent. He takes a deep breath, collects his mind, puts on a calm face, and opens the door. Hello? Good evening. Can I help you, sir? You know who I am? No, sir, but I know the uniform of the military commission. Just a routine inspection. Do you recognize these items? This is my father's. There must have been some disturbances in the city, and I'm afraid your father... I'm so sorry. Where did you find them? Was there... There was nothing else left at the scene. I'm sorry. What's your name? Oda. If you need any help... No, I'm very grateful that you brought these back. It's been a long time since I last saw him. This is enough. I don't have to wait anymore. He's not coming back. Do you have family or friends you can count on? I could take care of myself. Besides, we see things like this every day in this city, no? I'm sorry I gushed, sir. I feel like I know you somehow. I'm sure you're busy. I won't keep you any longer. My condolences. Yum. Root beer float is awesome while playing Arknights. Anyways, the door closes. Manfred can hear the sound of sobbing coming from behind the door, but he doesn't feel sorrow, not anymore. Oda's right. He's seen this too many times, yet he remembers this is not what the city was meant to be. Oh, here we go. BB-3, Silent Crack. Okay. Ooh. Oh, okay. I think I remember this one.
Stay safe, everyone. Your lives are mine to protect.
Only 25, but these, like, the skaters come down here or something.
Let's begin.
Oh, I screwed up. I screwed up big time. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't have anybody that'll be done in time. I screwed up there. I didn't realize that was a gap there. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
But
that's actually, you know what? No, that is where on my main account I put Shu in that gap because she healed everybody around. Yeah, okay. I got it. I figured it out.
I suppose you've already got a plan.
I already called dibs on the most lucrative real estate in hell, and you guys all get a share.
Screw it. I'm putting Reed up there.
Easy.
I'm gonna put Texas here.
Where do you wish I am Dublin?
Anything outside the plan?
I'm gonna put him here.
Shut up.
Exu can go here.
Awaiting orders.
Spring breeze.
Put Shu there.
Now we sow the grain.
Dagon Breaker's gonna go here. I love this music.
I wasn't supposed to act, but I plant you into the soil to grow anew.
Yeah, because she drags them back, and it's freaking awesome. I can deploy Fiala there, I believe.
Still mulling things over, Dr.
Get
Perfectionist.
that prepared.
I'm prepared. Fear not the firelight.
I may not need Aya. Let's see anyways.
All the best.
What's the connection? On run there, Goobs.
You want my opinion?
Apple pie. Professor, watch out for fires.
True. I'll bomb them. Six more.
I wasn't supposed to plant you into the soil to grow anew.
Still mulling things over, Dr. Perfectionist? Emotion is meaningless here.
I'm prepared for your lives. Now, ignite.
Okay, one more. Just this guy. He's done. That was a fairly easy one for my team right now. I'm actually happy with that. Very happy with that. The nomadic city of Kazdo. Me through! This area is off limits. What happened? Are you with Babel? No. Then it's none of your business. The wall of the royal court soldiers prevent Oda from passing. But he sees several familiar crying faces in the scattering crowd. Those students? I think I could take this alley here. Excuse me, do you know what happened? Someone beat another guy to death. He's dead too. Are you trying to join the racket? Babel again. What is Her Highness thinking? Shut your trap. You owe everything you eat, everything you wear, and the roof over your head to Her Highness. Shh. Well, it's simple enough, all right. A teacher beat the father of a student to death. A teacher? How could... All the man did was scold him a little, and it was the teacher who was telling the kid all sorts of awful things. That's not true. You're a Babel shill too? Kids these days. Hey, what are you doing? Oda squeezes through the crowd and sees some familiar faces lying on the ground. He finally finds the source of the commotion. The teacher lying in a cloud of dust. Teacher, what's going on? I didn't mean to hurt his father. Hang in there. I'll find a doctor. No. Over there. Him. Oda looks in the direction that the dying man is pointing and sees an injured child crying by the lifeless body of his father. Oda runs through the burning streets carrying the injured child in his arms, pieces together the whole picture from what he sees and hears. It began when an agitated teacher accidentally killed an agitated father, before he was set upon by the angry crowd and fell in the dust of the streets. The turmoil dragged everyone in, civilians, Babel, mercenaries, even the military commission. Like a chain reaction, clouds of dust were stirred up in various corners of the city. It wasn't until the artillery from an unknown source blasted through a wall of Babel's office building that the royal court troops finally quelled the riot. It began with an accident and ended with a shell that caused more damage to Babel than anything in the past 18 years, since the end of the war. It is hurt and needs a doctor. Don't make me do this the hard way. Whose side are you on? Babel? The military commission? Neither. I just need to get him to a doctor. Now get out of my way. My dad. It's too late for him. I'm sorry. Go, but don't trust outsiders so easily. Sarkaz, not in this chaos. Thank you. Oda could feel the child's breathing grow weaker as he continues on his way. Running through the streets, he seems to feel someone brush past his shoulder, but sees no one. Was I imagining things? Stop right there! No, not one step closer. There are patients inside. This kid needs medical attention now! But, whoa. I didn't think there was anyone still willing to bring their patients here. All right, I'll take it from here. I'll try to give you some extra medicine before we leave. Leave? Her Highness made the decision. We all know what's happening. We're not welcome in Kasdal anymore. Where are you going? Outside the city? Aren't you afraid of the dangers and the wastes? Yes, I am. But if the city no longer welcomes us, then we respect its choice. I want to join Babel. I can help care for the patients or protect you. So that's how he officially joins. Interesting. Is this the one who started the whole mess? Will he live? Don't think so. Lost too much blood. And what are we even doing here? Just follow the general's orders and don't ask questions. Who'd have thought something so minor would need their highness's statement? Is he trying to talk to us? There's nobody else around. Probably just seeing things before he dies. No banshee would sing an elegy for such a sinner. It's dangerous. Go. They can't see me. My arts hide my presence. Who are you? A student. I came from afar away, following in the footsteps of my mother to find answers in this wandering city and her two rulers. Did you find? I'm afraid the city doesn't have the answers ready yet. But I found you, the ideas that you advocated that were very interesting. I was with you when you taught those children in that basement, learning about the city and Babel. Of course, no one noticed, except Ascalon. Boy has been brought to Babel where his injuries will be treated. Do you regret your end? No, the boy defended me. He understood what I tried to change. I'm sorry about his father. I sympathize. It was not your intention to cause this tragedy, but fate was played a cruel joke on you. I hear crying. It is your elegy, calling your fading soul to the other side. Fear not, hesitate not. The myriad souls welcome you with open arms. Let my song take you beyond. Thank you. The young banshee's song soothes the mind of the dying man. A gentle song echoes through the crowded streets of the city. Banshees respond to the song of their young kin, adding their voices to the harmony. It is an elegy that commemorates the passing of an ordinary Sarkaz. You were talking about the future of Babel in the lesson, but you didn't get to the end. What were you going to say? I believe that Babel will die someday. I hope I'm wrong. Song. Another Sarkaz is passed on in the turmoil. There is no longer any place for Babel here. I will lead them and leave this city. Theresa, we love you, all of us. I know, but Babel has no choice. But if you leave, my people have made their choice. Neither I nor Theresa can change it. We cannot abandon hope. But the best course of action, right now, is to avoid conflict. Hatred will swallow us like a flood. You've always known, Theresa, our hero, our king. Gentle requests and gradual changes will not sway the minds of the Sarkaz drawn here by Kasdel's rise. Lacarameline, Perhaps what I say will disappoint, even hurt you, Theresa. Rimbilliton, Sargon, even Columbia. You have opened their doors and allowed the Sarkaz to negotiate with some as equals. Terra has seen more technological progress in 50 years than it has for millennia. But we were too slow. Despite the incredible changes you've brought to Kasdel, they haven't been enough, to bear the fruits of the true transformation. Even if I, too, believe that the fruits of spring are near. Is this the stance of the Banshee Court, Lacarameline? I'm just a mother who came to see her boy off, Theresa. I respect his choice, and there will come a day when he will speak of our royal court. But that day is not today. I know you love him. You haven't allowed yourself to age since he was born. Aifano was a miracle to me, and to all banshees. The day he was born, I became loath to age with time. I have preserved my appearance at the peak of my beauty. I wish to remain eternal in his memory. My life is finite, of course. It's only the facade that never changes. I know what your highness is thinking. You never expected your dream to come true in this generation. You see yourself as the soil, and it's not the soil's due to witness the flowers bloom. Even if the two of you have to give everything to nourish this soil. Humor my little self-indulgence, your highness. Until he finds the answer he is seeking, allow him to travel between the two of you, to learn from both of you. He will be the first sprout to emerge from the soil. Bring Aifano. Take care of him. Protect him in my place. I will, Lacarameline, my friend. Thank you. No matter where you go, no matter what fate awaits either of you, the Banshee Court will sing both of your elegies and announce to all, this is my promise. It is the most ancient and powerful of witchcrafts, my final parting gift to you. Lacarameline, will we meet again? I hope so. Until next time, then. I look forward to the day I can hear you sing in the mists of the Convolus. Farewell, your highness. I'm afraid I must stay here and go no further. Aifano will be part of your procession, after all, and I'm not ready to say goodbye to him yet. Two days later. How long do you plan on standing here? You came a little too early if it's Theresa you're looking for. I didn't think you would have the courage to come to me, Ascalon. Why? Do you mean you wouldn't have the courage to see me, or why I banished Babel? You've seen Manfred? Yes. Did you do it? Not all the way.
Good. Now, remove yourself before you say something childish and naive. Not even Theresa would agree with you. Or you could choose to stay. You don't have to explain yourself. After all, you never formally joined Babel.
Her Highness needs someone to protect her.
She is more powerful than you think.
And I agree with you even less, Master.
I suppose I should take that as a no. You and Manfred are my best students, yet both of you have your fatal flaws. Your talents in combat are peerless, but what do you truly believe in?
Your Highness.
Impatience. I said what you truly believe in, not me or Theresa. You still don't know what you seek, do you? To protect. That's just empty, self-deceptive sentimentality. When you're unsure of your path, you merely project your motivations onto vague ideals.
I've thought about it carefully.
Perhaps. Then follow Theresa and protect her. But don't blindly adopt her ways. Think for yourself. Manfred has found his answer long before you did. The next time we see each other. Never mind. Go, Ascalon. There's nothing else for us to talk about now.
Ascalon falls to one knee, then turns to a mist that closes around Theresa's. The mist trembles and disperses, leaving behind only a stone knife in Theresa's hand. He recalls the day that he snatched the blade from the child in the catastrophe. You were too cold to her, Theresa. It's a time of parting. You could have shared your mind with her. She's never been adept at expressing emotion.
As her teacher, you're better than me at reaching the teenager side of her.
Do you really have no faith in her choice?
She is welcome back at any time. Manfred remains too complacent in his training. He needs someone to challenge him. A goal to work towards.
I'll tell her.
I wish you would come back too.
I know.
We cannot resolve a minor conflict like this. The next one could escalate into a full-fledged civil war. If it comes to that, all we have dreamed for a century will be for naught. If that day comes, and if I have to, I'll kill you.
Babel is ready. We will leave with those who are willing to follow.
You've always kept them close.
Yes, because they need me.
I need you too. Kasdal needs its king.
Theresa, our people have made their choice. The best course of action for now, at least, is for Babel to back down. I will continue to call the nourishing rain upon Kasdal, change the city's circumstances, and wait for hatred to subside. But if you become the greatest threat to the searching dreamers in this long and painstaking process, I will destroy you.
So be it. Interesting. Mercenaries and royal court soldiers line the streets, holding back the restless crowd. It was the king of Sarkaz who brought food and shelter. It was also the king of Sarkaz who allowed oppression and hatred to fester. The Babel procession stretches as far as the eye can see, past the barricades, formed by lines of royal court soldiers, past the disdainful crowd. Theresa walks toward the crowd and stands with them. He has left Theresa's side for the first time in 2 centuries.
We all know what we must face.
I hope this will not be the last time we stand together.
Will that day be far?
Not too far. Theresa joins the silent procession. Their farewell to the city is soundless. Their path is one of hope. Then, something occurs, enough to silence the restless onlookers and momentarily halt the procession. The cursing and crying cease. Every eye turns to a single poignant scene. A mercenary steps out of line to embrace his best friend in the procession. No one can hear the whispers exchanged between the 2 friends by the ruins of Babel, but all are willing to wait and give them their moment of farewell. A farewell between the people in their city, and between 2 peoples of the same blood. A young Sarkaz who has lost everyone he holds dear walks in the procession without regret. He remembers walking the same path, leaving the city in search of his parents with his older companion many years ago.
Dad, I believe that there has yet to be. I believe that there has to be another way than war. Mom, I know you believed in Babel because you hoped for a different way to live. Goodbye, Mom, Dad. Goodbye, home. Theresa's eyes only. I've heard of what happened in Kasdal and share your sense of loss. The city holds special meaning to us all, but Babel needs not drift on the wastelands, for I have located the ship I previously mentioned in Rimbilliton. The excavation went smoothly, and the ship's basic functions have been restored after 2 years of work. It will carry the hopes of Babel into the future. Please wait for me, Theresa. P.S. I did find it on the ship. A legacy that could bring upheaval to this land. Given its importance, I feel it's crucial to discuss this matter with you in person. With hope, Kal'tsit. What did she find? I think we already know that answer. So here we go. So we are going to end our first episode there.
Ciao, Doctor.
So, that was the beginning. This is the first part of our playthrough of the Babel event. And we've got a few days left, so I'm going to get the rest of it recorded here in this time. Obviously, when you guys see this, that won't mean much to you. But the point is, I'm going to get the rest of it recorded, and I'm anxious to continue and see the full extent of the story. And as I kind of hinted at there, I think we know what's coming. I think we know what will be found on the ship here. I think we know and understand what's going to happen next. At least the beginning, the gist of it. Now, it's very interesting what we got to see so far. We got to see the very beginning of Babel, Theresa organizing it. We got to see the initial kind of peace being brought in a way to Sarkaz and things with Kasdal, but the things with the mercenaries and all the stuff going on with Theresa and Theresis and different elements creating the military commission and stuff like that, as well as the creation of Babel and how things began to fall into descent and everything started falling apart more and more. And as we saw there in the end, it's in a way was already approaching a civil war because of Babel's presence and because of falsehoods and various things being spread and just a whole bunch of dissent amongst the people and amongst the Sarkaz people as well. And there was a lot of blame laid on Theresa. You could see that heavily, and it's obviously weighing on her to an extent. But overall, it's very interesting to see that beginning leading up to where we are now, and now Babel heading to the ship. Kal'tsit found the ship. It's been excavated. It's operational. This ship will become Babel. And soon in the future, Rhodes Island. So, next time we pick up, we'll pick up from here with BB-ST-2, which is a story bit, and then we'll play a few more stages and see how much further we can get. But we're about to see an awakening, and I'm anxious to get to that part. So, with that being said, guys, I hope you liked the first playthrough of the Babel event. I hope my voices aren't annoying you too badly, and I appreciate you all for watching and taking the time to hang out here on the channel. Make sure you like the video, and make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel to help me continue to grow and bring you more cool Arknights content and other things in the future. With that, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.